Well, hello. Now it is the 3rd of February 2020. We have to worry about, excuse me, what's really going on with the Republicans. And I remember, I'm sitting outside, even though it's supposed to be 70, there's a little wicked cold breeze, but I just felt like fresh air. I mean, 70 degrees is nice for February, and it's like 20 degrees cooler or warmer. Well, anyway, what I want to try to do is try to talk about how the police is tied in with sort of the educational system and the downfall of, I guess I would say, slowly the Constitution. Now, let's just say this country is basically based on merchants that were trying to make money, and let's say they were affiliated with the Catholic Church or kings and queens in Paris and England and whatnot. Their whole thing is about merchandising, getting raw material and supplying their masses. And their masses are in such a situation, we're being controlled so much that a lot of our nomadic and natural survival techniques had been distorted to live in cities and big populations where we don't go by the cleverness of our wit to survive. It's all about the dollar bill. I'm gonna sweat. I put the scarf on for extra warm. I know, it's just sloppy. Because we do have the flu here in Memphis really bad. We don't have the coronavirus that I know of here, but we have the flu really bad. So keep my head a little warm. Look homely. Anyway, and I've happened to read, really haven't gotten into it deep. Oh, I don't have it out here. Never mind. Michael Nice book. And it makes you wonder what has been going on in America since World War I. How has racism benefited the United States? White nationalists, and how the Republican Party is acting now. How's it benefited the United States, if at all? And my head's cold. Basically, it hasn't. The simple fact that I think in the 50s and 60s, like the height of our manufacturing, cars and washing machines and stoves and other manufacturing stuff, clothing. I know, like here, like our family that was farmers and stuff. Like my cousin Ermagine that grew up in this house. The worst thing in the world, she was so embarrassed that her father made a lot of his money by growing vegetables and other produce. That was just too niggerish for her. And Catholic Church ended up hypnotizing and embezzling and just actually getting our land that was on 3rd here. That was actually worth something. and like the sister, the church that she was going to, the Catholic church she was going to, and he wrote, like, I think the sister died first, then the father died, and then Irma Jean died. And that was just because they protest to be a Marin of a J-Zar. I wonder what that really means. Not to us, but what it, what they was, what it meant to them. But anyway, and then I'm just talking about like the height of the Jim Crow. I need to do some reading up on it, but Jim Crow basically stopped in 71, and it was a way of oppressing and basically keeping black people out of the big money making job opportunities. By taking over color baseball, and making it white owned, no longer black or colored owned, Negro owned. The Negro colored baseball league, Motown, any type of the numbers, legalizing off-track betting, anything that, if it was in the music industry, in the show business industry, if it was in the science or whatever it was, they didn't want to have black people making money or participating in the United States getting to be more productive and financially stable. And like if they lock up, black folks, they wouldn't have to worry about, World War II where they're locking up supposedly white folks. Now, if we're supposed to believe theology in the Bible, we know that the Jews that in Germany is supposed to have migrated from Egypt, from a warmer climate in Africa. So basically, I see the Jews today as just ones that had been promiscuous enough that they're no longer really the true Israelites or the true one from Egypt, because they were black. I think that there's a long DNA of them being historically from the same tribe, but I think their vision has been whitewashed as their color of their skin. Well, that's neither here nor there. Now, if you look at the police department and the way we could get policemen to shoot American citizens, the only thing I noticed is that once the person is handcuffed, the policeman is no longer scared. He is now feeling empowered. Someone swear that will beat you. If you show anything like a human mammal, like the fight or flight part, you're liable to get killed. They're asking black Americans to accept the fact that we're not educating them enough to get them in the job market to maintain the high living, another word. Um, but anyway, the cost of the rent, the cost of food, cost of electricity, cost of getting a car, cost of insurance, cost of maintenance like an oil, batteries, windshield wipers, fluid, um, driver's license, the maintenance of keeping a car, the maintenance of keeping, your house going, buying food, cleaning supplies, clothing for yourself, shoes, and, soap. It's, most of your paycheck, you're living from paycheck to paycheck. And of course, you still want to get entertainment, like you want the football, you want to watch your basketball, you do like not as much as before, your baseballs. And so, keeping in mind that you might say that our founder fathers wanted to make the merchants from European the most important. The most important thing for them to do is to get raw material, if it's gold, diamond, oil, poppies, like heroin, whatever it is, they want the raw materials, and they want to be the ones that are transporting it around. And they made this gamble that if sex, drugs, and rock and roll would subdue the populations, like along with the sports and now the TV in the home, that they'll be at home either watching televisions, the 3 channels they had that at the time. And I didn't watch TV at the time that the shows were aired, but went to the TV museum later on and thought shows like Happy Days showed that this guy was hypnotizing these ladies. He snapped his fingers, they came and kissed. So it showed a lot of disrespect. Who cares about the woman wants or needs? It's about the man's wants and need, and which affects the children gravely, because if the woman is not given the opportunity to really participate and contribute to the society, the same thing's going to happen with the child. So that's that. Anyway, and as you see now, I think that with our election and everything, like, I'm not for Bloomberg. I think Bloomberg and Rudy Giuliani and all them, they're all cut from the same cloth. That there was a huge criminal and mafia and Russian mafia and Chinese mafia and I don't know, Colombia mafia, and everybody's mother's mafia that was like trying to make money in the big cities, New York, Chicago, Boston, etc., Florida, who knows, all up and down along that coast. It's a lot of opportunities for raw materials to come in, be it cocaine, be it heroin, or whatever it is, cocoa leaves or poppy seed, whatever it is. There's like all along the East Coast is support, all along the West Coast is support. And if you could educate your policemen in such a way that they're not actually learning, but becoming addicted to certain substance, so they could be more controlled, so they would be more liable to not have a problem of locking up, American citizens. So they don't have a problem. What was that? Like, everybody goes to college. You could that sociology 101 where they show like if they make these students in charge of certain people in cells, and then have students that are in cells, that eventually the ones that are in charge will become narcissistic in their behaviors. Now, that's only in, I think, in the cases that if you are brought up to be a narcissistic, i.e., parents whooped you, or whooping plus sexual abuse, or only sexual abuse. It tends to be that there's a lot of controlling that is used that the kid will emulate to get the child to participate in behavior. And hence you make this narcissistic, double-binding hypocrite that's very selfish and self-controlling. So what I'm trying to say is that we do have a messed up police department by design. We do have messed up schools, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the Cold War, coming back to the time of when Stalin's era. I think even the Kennedys, the deaths of a bunch of Kennedys have something to do with it, because they had a different vision. And John F. Kennedy, he didn't want to have our dollar based on oil, and oil could be collapsing, so we could have a major problem if the dollar collapsed. Anyway, we'll see. You know, when the majority of our the smartest, brightest, or just the strongest athletics that are being jailed, killed, or crucified, and the police more than welcome to be ignorant of their responsibility and the destruction of the American dream, the American society, the American culture, and our Constitution, just as the Republicans have shown that in this impeachment hearing, that they could care less about the Constitution, but more about the money they could get from super PACs or other foreign aid.